I am 29 years old and I don't have any friends. Ugh. I got pizza in the oven right now, so I got a little bit of time to make this video. Today, I wanted to talk about how I am 29 years old and I don't have any friends. Yeah. This video is more awkward than I thought it was gonna be, now that I'm saying it out loud. It's a genuine conversation because it's my reality. It's literally, I don't have any friends. And on this channel, I want to be as transparent as possible and let you guys in on my life because I want to see if there are other people who have similar stories like mine. I've actually been on YouTube a lot lately, like watching other videos, and I've seen this topic come up more often than not. A lot of people nowadays don't have friends, and I guess it's nice to see that there are other people going through it too, because now I don't feel so alone. I was starting to think like maybe there's something wrong with me. Am I doing something wrong? But then when I heard some of these people's stories, it made sense, and a lot of them were kind of going through the same things that I'm going through. So I wanted to make my own version of my story and see if any of you guys can also relate. But yeah, over the past few years, I've just become extremely introverted, and because of that, I don't really have friends. I don't really vibe with people anymore, and I guess I'll run it back and start when I did have a lot of friends. So I had the most amount of friends in late middle school, all through high school, when most people do. I was very athletic, so I hung out with a lot of the people that I played sports with. And for those of you guys that don't know, I'm trans. If you did know, I grew up with lots of girlfriends because I was raised as a girl. So playing sports and stuff, I naturally had a lot of friends that were girls. Well, when I graduated high school, I started to look more like this because that's when I started to transition. And with my transition, I don't want to say that it was because of this, but it was just too ironic for it not to really be about this. But when I graduated high school and I started to physically transition and look like this, the girls that I hung out with, they were starting to not invite me to things anymore. And I don't think it was in the intention that they didn't like me because I was trans, but I just don't think I fit in anymore because I grew up hanging out with a lot of popular girls. Because of that, looking like this, I no longer really fit in with that popular crowd. So naturally, they all just kind of started doing things, and I was noticing that I was no longer being invited. But I didn't really speak up, I just kind of let it happen. And also in that time, I was very closed off in a sense because I was finally figuring out myself and how I wanted to appear in others' eyes, and switching my pronouns and all that stuff. It was a lot. So naturally, I knew some people were gonna kind of leave it alone. So once I started physically transitioning and looking more like this, I started to hang out with more guys because I thought maybe that was the problem. Maybe I need to hang out with guys more because look at me. Because I don't fit in with these girls anymore, maybe I'll fit in with the guys. So I started hanging out with some guys, and I started hanging out with the wrong type of guy friends. And there's nothing wrong with these people. I'm not trying to throw shade on them at all, but they just weren't my personality, but I forced myself to try and be like them just so I could have friends. And these guys, to put it lightly, they were just the, yo, you down to smoke, you down to drink, you trying to reach out to some girls, like let's go meet some girls, blah, 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 blah. And I'm sorry, but that just wasn't the type of person I was, but I still hung out with these people because at least they were people to hang out with. Literally just a snapshot of what it looked like to hang out with these people. They would all be in like a circle around the PlayStation, playing video games, talking about girls, and I'd be in the background on the couch on my phone, just kind of there to be there, pretty much. And so I hung out with these guys for like a couple years until my like early 20s, probably like 22, 23, and then that kind of died out really quickly. During this whole time, this whole timeline that I told you guys about, there were 2 girls that I actually stayed in touch with the entire time. So I had 2 girlfriends that were like this. We were inseparable, even though we weren't always together physically. We attended different colleges and things like that. We weren't able to like always be together, but like we had a really solid friendship, whether it was over the phone, through text, or when we would go on vacations on spring break and stuff together. Very solid friendship until I fucked it up. So one of these girls, as you can imagine, I'm a guy, and these were 2 girls. Eventually feelings started to get involved and I started dating one of them. I'm not gonna chop it up with the whole story because I'm pretty sure I have a video way down in my history of videos. If you want to know, you can figure it out then. But long story short, we dated for a while, a couple years, and in the long run we shouldn't have dated, but we did. Let's just say that relationship killed the 3 of us being friends, and it's a very unfortunate story, but that's what happened. And that was pretty much the end of my friends. Like that pretty much finalized having friends. So a little after COVID had happened, I started dating a new girl, and I'm still currently with her. Love her to pieces, and I have a beautiful family with her. She has a son, and I now consider him my stepson. So it's the 3 of us, and I love both of them very much. I started dating her, and the reality hit me when she pulled me to the side and was like, babe, since we've been dating, mind you, this has been about, we were dating for about a year at this point. She was like, babe, since I moved in with you, you have not hung out with a single person. At that point, I didn't realize it until she told me that. I went a whole year without hanging out with a single friend, and I've just become so closed off with the world. A little has to do with me pursuing social media and just really being invested in that, but then the other part is just a long history of failed friendships, I guess. And it would make me feel kind of shitty because I was like, why don't I have friends? Like, I see all the kids I grew up with in high school still chopping it up with each other, and then there's me. I just can't hold on to friendships. Like, I can't make friends. I'm not good at this. I wasn't understanding why I had so many friends growing up, and then now, like, heading towards 30, like, I'm by myself. It also has its benefits. I mean, it helps me to focus a lot more on the things that I'm trying to pursue in life, and then it also has its downfalls. Like, everyone should have some sort of a social life outside of the family they're building, outside of their blood family. You should have some sort of social life. I don't know if it's like kind of a trauma to all of the friends that I've lost, to now being afraid to even try and reconnect with either them or new people. And recently, moving out here to Arkansas from New York, I tried again. I tried to make friends because I was like, all right, we're in a new state. Let's try and befriend people. Well, I worked at this one warehouse job for like 2 weeks, and I met this one kid, and he was super chill. And he doesn't live too far from me, and we started to be friends for a little while. We started going to the gym together every now and again. But then again, I noticed myself kind of pushing myself away from him. Like, he would ask me, hey, you want to go to the gym today? And I'd be like, oh, I can't go. Even though I could, like, I planned on it, but I wanted to make sure I was going the time he was not going. And I know that sounds horrible. He didn't do anything wrong, but like, I just notice when I do make friends now, it's like I regret making the friend. And I feel like that sounds really bad. I think I'm in a place now where I just want my family. Like I don't want friends anymore. It's like part of me wants friends, but then most of me doesn't want friends. It's just a weird feeling. I be feeling bad sometimes because my girlfriend, like, she has friends, but because I don't, she doesn't really like to leave me, and like, I don't care to join her and her friends, but I also don't want her to miss out on having friends. And it's crazy because in June, we're actually going home to New York to visit my family, and she isn't from New York. She only moved there with me for about 3 years, and then we moved here to Arkansas. And it's crazy because when we go home, she already has a day that she planned out with the friends she made there from her old job to have a movie night. And then she was like, you can make plans like with your friends too. And I was like, I don't have any. I'm not gonna just hang out with people just because of the convenience, because we're home. Because right before we moved to Arkansas, none of these people were hanging out with me. So why am I gonna go out of my way to hang out with people now just because, oh, Kyle's in town, he's visiting from Arkansas. Nobody had the energy to hang out with me then, so I'm not gonna force hanging out with them just because I'm visiting. With that being said, my pizza is probably done. Yeah.